Hey guys, it's Restocker here coming at you with another Dota commentary, and it feels like it's been forever and a day since my last cast, so hopefully things turn out well here and I don't just crash and burn and fail epically. This is a pub game that I took from the second page of the Dota 2 live game, so the game should be of relatively decent quality, but being a pub game, we're probably going to see some Leroy Jenkins stuff, some YOLO swaggin' moments here and there, but hopefully they keep the dubious plays, which are definitely going to be peppered throughout this game, to a minimum so that we can actually learn a thing or two. For this cast in particular, I'm going to be focusing on things like item choices, skill builds, and things of that nature, discuss player movement and how they're trying to garner advantages slowly. Because I think for newer players as well as players that are trying to get better at the game, that kind of approach to casting is probably much more interesting, especially if you want to get better at the game. It's really important to focus on the intricacies of Dota and understand why players are doing certain things, as opposed to simply listening to something like a play-by-play cast. Of course, it's important to have fun, so I'm going to try to do a little bit of play-by-play casting here and there. Be prepared to listen to me talk a lot, because there's a lot of things to cover in Dota, so I'm going to be talking a lot. Also, my camera work isn't particularly amazing, as I haven't done casting in a long time. And at the same time, I'm going to be probably doing as if I were playing games. I'm going to be jumping to heroes a lot, so I apologize if it becomes a little dizzy and get camera sickness, but hopefully I'll get a little bit better as I continue casting the game. I'm going to shut up for a second real quick.
This party's getting crazy. Let's rock. Jack.
So my Dota 2 is modded, which is why you had that little doodad there. Gotta have my boys from Devil May Cry, Dante and Virgil. Gotta have them repping my game. They're gonna give me a holler every time the creeps start at the start of Dota. Anyways, the most volatile portion of Dota is kind of done. I consider the very early portion of Dota to be the most volatile, because you don't know what lane the heroes are going to go into, the enemy heroes, I should say, and you don't know what items they're going to start with. So you kind of just go with your gut feeling. Sometimes you can predict what lane heroes are going to go to, but it's not always that easy. Anyways, we're going to have Puck start with a Null Talisman, GG Branch, bought a Tango for himself, and he's going to get pulled some Tangos because he probably has some random gold. And then he's going to be well on his way to his bottle. We have Bloodseeker, who's going to go for a Stout Shield, Tango, Healing Salve, and 2 Armored Branches. Sometimes you get a Quelling Blade early on Bloodseeker to help you last it. Baby Knight's actually going to be playing a player that, you know, somewhat famous. Some of you guys might know him. And he's going to be playing the Bloodseeker. He's going to go with a pretty safe opening with the Healing Salve as opposed to the Quelling Blade, which probably would be letting him last it a little bit better here. That Illusion Rune was really lucky for the Puck. It's gonna help him against the Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker generally has a pretty good time against Puck, but he has opted to go for a little bit of damage here, so Puck shouldn't be having too much trouble. Baby Knight gonna go back here and block the creep wave so it doesn't go too far up the high ground, but it looks like his efforts are going to be to no avail, but it's not too bad. It's actually going to push back into his lane, so he's going to have a pretty decent time there. We're going to have Skeleton King jungling. Melee junglers, I shouldn't say melee junglers, but junglers that just attack slowly and are able to sustain in the jungle but clear it relatively slowly aren't particularly good junglers. Their levels are very low. Clear speed is pretty low. You want heroes like Enigma, and Enchantress is somewhat okay if she's not ganking too much. But overall, the heroes like Bloodseeker and Centaur and Legion Commander, Skeleton King, they jungle pretty slow. Lifestealer is one of the few decent ones, and even he's not, particularly amazing. Looks like Bounty Hunter is going to be kind of just chilling with the Chen here. He's going to be stealing a little bit of EXP, and he's going to try to get the last hit onto the Satyr camp, the creep there, and he actually ends up dying to a really nice Hadouken from the big Satyr creep. So well played by the Chen to get the kill there. A little bit of greediness coming from the Bounty Hunter, and he's going to pay the price. So that was a little bit of a mistake there. We're going to have Potom going on to the off lane. Looks like she does have a point into everything, so she could leap out if she feels like it. She's going to escape. So that Skywrath Mage, all I'm going to say is Isarag was on some really good stuff when he made this hero. Skywrath Mage has Arcane Bolt, which is a really nice harassing tool. It has an extremely long range, as you can see, and it costs very low mana and it has really low cooldown. First of all, he has 325 base move speed. That's something I should probably mention, so he's really quick. and his base damage is somewhat low, but he has 600 auto attack range, so that's really good. We're gonna have a missed arrow from bottom there, unfortunate. Probably could have got a kill onto the Skywrath Mage if she got that working. So it's like Bounty Hunter is gonna get the kill. No, he's gonna do a little bit of damage. Doesn't actually get the kill, but does a little bit of damage and they pick up the Skywrath Mage. Anyway, let's see what Void's gonna get out. So going back to Skywrath Mage, he has a bird poop skill which has 1,600 range. He just gives out a little poop and slows enemies from 1,600 range, which homes in on targets, which is insane. Meanwhile, Panda is gonna go top, and then he has a silence, which has an insane range and pretty long silence duration, along with the fact that it actually amplifies magic damage. So a slow going to come in from the Skywrath Mage. Like, what other support could slow from that far, man? Come on, and they're going to kill onto the Queen of Pain. I'm hating. The reason I hate on Skywrath Mage is because I used to love playing Skywrath Mage at mid, and then everyone started playing him at TI, and I was just like, holy no, why'd you do that? So Bunny Hunter is actually going to pick up an Orb of Venom, which is really good, harassing tool, as well as it slows enemies by a lot. So if you're playing a roaming bounty hunter and you run into something like a Chen, as long as you're pretty healthy, you should be okay. It looks like Panda's actually going to get a kill on the bounty hunter. That definitely should have happened. If bounty hunter wasn't being so cute and just ran in a straight line, he would have been fine. Bounty hunter did making some dubious plays that we were talking about earlier. And going back to Skywrath Mage, all his skills have relatively low cooldowns and mana cost, except for his ultimate. So yeah, he's just kind of a master of everything. You kind of have a jack of all trades, master of none. He just kind of masters everything. He doesn't give a crap about anything. Let's check out the last hits. We're going to have a farming silencer. That's something I failed to mention. He's probably going to go to Hand of Midas here, saving up for quite a bit of gold. Farming extremely well. Meanwhile, looks like Chen is going to get picked off here. Not too sure what he's doing there. And then Skywrath Mage is also going to die. So they're kind of creep skipping there, but they're going to give a lot of EXP over to the Priestess of the Moon along with the Bounty Hunter. So Void going to have to go back a little bit here. Has a poor mana show, so he should be okay. Maxing out Time Lock. Pretty standard build to go 1-1. And get time points into time lock. Getting a value point into backtrack always good. Probably going to see him max the time walk after he maxed time lock just to escape a little bit, lowers the cooldown. Also makes it so that you can initiate from far. Looks like Bounty Hunter is going to be going down. Silence from Ancient Seal preventing that Wind Walk, or Shadow Walk I should say, from coming out. So going to get a pretty clean kill there. Meanwhile, jungling speed for Skeleton King not so great. He's probably doing just about as good as a Chen, as you can see. So he's doing moderately okay for himself. He's probably going to go for a Hand of Midas so he can catch up a little bit later. That's generally what you want to get on your jungling kind of melee slow farmers so they can get back into the game. Courier still hasn't been upgraded. There's no real support for the Dire team, so it looks like no one's opted to upgrade the Courier at 5 minutes while the Radiant team has 2 supports, which is good. Our team, even when you're running something like a 1 support, it's generally not good. Looks like there's going to be a nice arrow onto the puck there. Priestess opting to go for a storm build, along with the Sacred Arrow, and she's going to have 1 point into Leap, which is pretty standard opening for someone who's going to be farming. Looks like there's going to be a Silencer ulti coming out just to make sure that Panda doesn't get his ultimate off, but he actually doesn't have it, so a little bit of a wasted ulti there, but it's just going to make sure that there's nothing too crazy happening. There's going to be a stun coming out from the Skeleton King. I actually like this build. Wraith Fire Blast lets you transition into the mid game. Sometimes you'll see really greedy supports go for things like Mortal Strike and Vampiric Aura, and I mean excessive point into them. You know, this isn't too bad. You know, lets you jungle a little bit better. But then getting 2 points in Wraith Fire Blast is definitely what you want to do. You want to be being able, you want to contribute to fights in the mid game a little bit. So not going too greedy. I completely agree with that build. Meanwhile, looks like Bounty Hunter is just going to be hiding over here. And what I was saying earlier about the Dire teams, they don't have a true support, so they're not going to be getting things like courier upgrades and ward placements as a constant flow throughout this game. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of a gank going on to the Silencer. Puck's going to come waiting in the wings. Looks like there's going to be a pretty clean kill onto the Silencer, so it's a much needed gold onto the Brewmaster. Going to get his ultimate, going for an early point to roll with a Magi instead of just saving gold for something like a Bad Boot. Completely fine. Off lane, Brewmaster getting a little bit of EXP. Perfectly fine. Meanwhile, Priestess of the Moon is level 7, has maxed out her Starstorm. As Sacred Arrow, looks like Chen is going to get picked off. Oh no, Bloodseeker gets picked off and he ulties the Chen creep. I thought it was a kill on someone else I mid. So yeah, looks like that's going to be a little bit of a fail from the Bloodseeker. Bottom opting to go for Power Treads. Generally you see Phase Boots, which lets you just position a little bit better. Gives you a little bit more move speed. Treads lets you dish out the DPS, I think, a little bit better though. So mid tower going to get pressured by the Chen. He has a Hadouken creep along with the Troll Warlord, which is pretty good. These he tried to do a little cute trick there. We can pull the creep aggro by sending one of your skeleton warriors before it actually runs into your creep wave, and then by doing that you can kind of pull them away from the tower, but it looks like they don't actually need to do that. They're going to continue pressing the advantage here. They do have 3 heroes. They have Void with oh no, Void's Chrono is actually down, so gonna be a little bit risky pushing into the enemy teams here. The Scar Mage is also almost level 6. I should probably wait for him to hit level 6. He's really close. He probably should be in range to get a little bit more EXP. We have Bounty Hunter coming in. Going for a Shuriken Toss build. There's an arrow that's going to be connecting onto the Scarrath Mage, and Bounty Hunter is... why is he running away? He wasn't even hit by that invis. He wasn't hit by that dust. So anyways, he's going to be okay. Looks like there's going to be a Rupture going onto the Void. He's definitely going to die here. Bloodseeker going to get a little bit of HP thanks to that Bloodbath, but he's probably going to be going down here. Puck landing a really nice Dream Coil, and he's going to get a few kills for himself. And there's going to be a really nice arrow from the Priestess of the Moon. Hadouken Creep doing its Hadoukens as it can. Puck going to pop a wand. Really nice wand purchase. Bounty Hunter's probably going to get a track gold kill here. We'll see if he's able to go onto the Puck as well. He has a Clarity, but chances are he's not going to be able to get anything off. He might just throw a track off, but yep, he's going to just track and start heading back towards his base. So he's probably just going to heal up. I like getting an early bottle on Bounty Hunter. It lets you kind of run in, duck in and out, weave in and out of fights, and lets you contribute a little bit more. So that was kind of a hectic team fight there. It looks like we had Void going down, Bloodseeker going down, so some of the DPS heroes going down. At the end, Puck does stay alive, so he's going to hit level 9. Let's check the hero levels really quickly. So Puck going to be sitting pretty at the top. Let's check the net worth really quickly. We have Void and Puck, so Radiant team coming out ahead here. Void's item choice is going to be Mask of Manus, Treads, Torment Shield. Pretty standard opening. Probably going to build a Maelstrom from here. We'll see if he opts to go for a BKB later on into the game. But yeah, BKB doesn't seem like it's completely necessary. You don't have too much magic damage coming. Bloodseeker's ultimate is HP removal, but it's a weird kind of HP removal. Bristleback still works against it and things like that. So, but the main point to make is it's going to go through BKB. Let's see here. We have Void, Chronosphere up, so he could get a solo kill onto something like the Bounty Hunter. Chronosphere actually spots enemies when they go invis, and it takes away all evasion from enemies, so he's going to be able to kill Bounty Hunter relatively effectively. We'll see if Bounty Hunter is able to get a solo kill here. Whoa, it looks like Puck coming in. Oh, they popped the Smoke of Deceit, so they should know that the Bounty Hunter is here. Unfortunately, they don't have a Dust Up appearance, so Bounty Hunter being a nuisance, thorn in everyone's behind, and he's going to pick up an Urn of Shadow, so if he gets any kills here, it's going to be a little bit, it's going to transition into more mid-game power. Sorry there, a little bit of a hiccup. Meanwhile, Bloodseeker also picked up a Urn of Shadow, so not the best team communication. Meanwhile, it looks like Void is going for a Band of Elven Skin, so is he going to go for something like a Yasha, maybe? Yasha. That's pretty interesting. Generally don't see that. Bounty Hunter going to scout out the Broodmaster, who still only has a Robe of the Magi and Boots of Speed. Probably going to just save for a... probably going to be saving for a Blink Dagger at this point. We're going to have an ultimate coming out from the Broodmaster, a Chronosphere from the Void. Perfect silence from the Silencer, keeping the Bounty Hunter alive. The mid-animation of the Void ultimate. Looks like they're going to try to chase the Silencer. Panda going to go invisible. Looks like there's going to be a Moonlight Shadow deployed as well, just to make sure everyone is Gucci. Meanwhile, at the bottom still farming. She should really be teleporting to top right now. There's going to be a Rupture onto the Bloodseeker. We have a Blink coming in from the Puck, as well as a Concussive Shot. Really nice ultimate from the Skywrath Mage, as well as the Puck. Going to get the Dream Coil. Chronosphere going to drop onto the Silencer there, and then we'll see if Chen goes down. Chen's going to pop his mech, does everything he possibly can. We're going to have Puck blink back into the action here. He has the Illusory Orb as well as Waiting Rift, going to pick off the Priestess of the Moon, and then the backside we're going to have Skeleton King die, as he didn't have enough mana for his ultimate, so it looks like everyone's going to go down except for the sneaky Bounty Hunter, and only losing the Chen, so definitely a huge win for the Radiant team. Perfect use of the Puck ultimate to get two really crucial heroes. You got the Bloodseeker as well as the Silencer, who is a farming Silencer by the way, so they lost a lot of their DPS. He's going for a Hand of Midas, so doesn't have anything like a Force Staff or a mech to really help his team out, and that's kind of going to cost them pretty early on into the game, as well as a really nice ultimate just come in from the Skywrath Mage, dropping that Ion Cannon on top of the Silencer's head there to get a kill, or was it the Bloodseeker's head? Yeah, whatever. Whoever he killed someone, that's kind of the beauty of the hero. He's one of those heroes that can just 100 to 0 a carry that's been farming. So that's a little bit, suspicious to make a hero like that. It looks like he's gonna pick up a vitality booster, give him a little bit of tankability. Gonna build into a Rod of Atos, placing a pretty nice observer ward just so you can spot the movement of enemy heroes. Generally, I like putting this observer ward like right here. Gives you a little bit more vision of what's going on. But this one is not too terrible. The reason you place observer wards in the jungle in spots like here and here is because these are common spots. Oh, I hear a Puck ultimate. Because those are common spots and you don't want to be placing your observer ward there. Looks like Puck's going to phase shift dodge the bottom arrow. They're going to get a relatively clean kill onto the Bloodseeker. They do drop 2 ultimates, but if you can keep down the enemy mid, it's always worth it. Looks like Bloodseeker is probably just going to go for a little bit of tank. Going to go for something like a Drum of Endurance at this point. I would expect him to be get a little bit tankier to survive the super high burst from the Radiant team. Skeleton King, in the meantime, has a Hand of Midas, so he's going to be farming a little bit faster, and looks like there's going to be a kill onto the Silencer at bottom if he's not careful here. He does have a track movement speed boost from the Void, and Void might actually end up going down, so really nice juking and jiving from the Silencer there to get a kill. The point booster definitely going to make him survive, so he's probably going to be going to an Aghanim Scepter. I still think a 4-staff probably a little bit better on a Silencer. Even though he's a farming Silencer, I would still probably go 4-staff. Just so much utility there. They're going to get a counter kill onto the Bounty Hunter. Really nice sentry board placement there. Just pretty clean kill. They have a mech onto the Chen, and he's going to be doing a whole bunch of healing. So next fight, he's going to have Hand of God as well as mech, assuming Silencer doesn't get a timely ultimate, so that's going to be pretty difficult. The Radiant team in general has much more devastating ultimates than the Dire team. They have a Chronosphere, they have Skywrath ulti, they have Panda ulti, Puck ulti, Chen ulti, all really good team fight kind of based ults, except for Skywrath ult, which is just really strong, really potent. Meanwhile, Bloodseeker ulti, Potom ulti is pretty good if you can use it sneakily. Bounty's ulti is kind of a greedy ulti, doesn't offer too much, gives you a little bit of move speed in fights, but other than that, if you're not really winning the fights, it's not going to be too helpful. The only really big game-changing ult they have is the Silencer ult. Potom ult, as I said earlier, could be a little bit sneaky. Skeleton King, once he gets up and running, if they ever do give him a chance to, it can be kind of a nuisance to kill him twice, as Skeleton King is a relatively good hero against the Void, but he's not really farming too well considering he was jungling. So it looks like Void is going for a Yasha build, which is pretty unheard of. You don't really go Yasha on Void almost ever. Manta doesn't actually disable Bloodseeker's silence, but it does disable the Silencer's ultimate, so maybe that's why he's gonna get it. The thing is, if you go BKB, if you use BKB before the Silencer ultimates, it actually goes through BKB, so perhaps he's gonna go for a Manta just to disable that, and then he's gonna be able to drop his ultimate and take care of the silence. Rather than just sitting there waiting for Silencer ultimate to go off, he can kind of take the fight to them. So anyways, looks like they are going to be going for a Roche. They're probably going to hand this over to Void, as you can just kind of go in, do a lot of damage, come back to life. He's probably going to pick it up. Probably a little bit of a powwow discussion there to kind of determine who's going to pick that up. Meanwhile, Puck going for a Cyclone. Yules is pretty good to get on Puck. Once you get a Blink Dagger, it just lets you be super sneaky. Could buy you a little bit of time for things like the Blink Dagger. Can buy you time to phase shift out, things of that nature. So pretty good item pickup overall. Looks like Bounty's going to be going for a Drums. In the end, Priest of the Moon also going to be going for a Drum. Never too bad to have an overkill of Drums, and Bloodseeker picking up a Bracer for himself, so he's also going to be going Drums. And this game is slowly getting out of hand for the Dire team here, as they're giving up some pretty crucial kills, and a lot of their heroes that are supposed to be doing a little bit better are doing somewhat poorly. Bloodseeker 153, Skeleton King 022, especially considering he was in the jungle, not going to be the greatest thing ever. We have Skeleton King, who's going to be going for a Blade Mail, which is a pretty good item, pretty standard item to get on him. We're not going to drop the ultimate onto him just quite yet. Void does have the Aegis. If he decides to Chrono here, they could have got another kill onto him. It looks like there's going to be a Puck ultimate onto the Bounty Hunter, as well as the Skeleton King. Skeleton King going to get completely dropped to the Ion Cannon from the Skywrath Mage. And yeah, that's kind of the beauty of that hero. And really kind of chew into you if you keep him in position. So it looks like Bounty Hunter should probably just be throwing out some track, give the team a little bit of movement speed. There's going to be a Potom ultimate coming out. And Void going he could just drop a Chronosphere here if he wants to. There's going to be a Dust of Appearance being popped by the Chen. Looks like there's going to be a Silence. Not too much they can do. Ooh, a arrow just grazes Void's left butt cheek there. Not too much going to come out of that. There's going to be another Silence coming off the Scarlet onto the Skeleton King. Looks like Skeleton King, was that a buyback death? Looked like a buyback death to me. It might have not been. But it looks like he's going to go down. Void is going to beat the crap out of 2 people because he can't really figure out who he wants to kill. And then Bounty Hunter's just going to die to the AoE nuke from the puck. Meanwhile at top, Baby Knight, Bloodseeker just going to be farming top. They probably could have changed the game there. If he was not changed the game, of course, but he probably could have got a few more kills. You know, there's several times when Void was really low. He does have a Aegis of the Immortal. Aegis of the Legion. Is that a League of Legends item? Maybe that's a League of Legends item. I have no idea why I said that. So he's going to take out the bottom racks for the Radiant team. Meanwhile, the Radiant team is going to transition over to the mid lane. There really isn't much defense that they have. You know, farming Silencer, going for Aghanim Scepter isn't particularly bad, but he has really no damage output at the current moment. He has a Mask of Madness. He doesn't even have anything like Force Staff and Mech to help his team out, whereas the Radiant team has opted to pick a lot of the correct item choices. Skarath Mage going for an Urn of Shadows himself, going for a bit booster to keep him a little bit tanky. Now, all the Radiant team have a lot of gold after getting these towers and that little recent skirmish at bottom. Meanwhile, Panda really wants to get the last hit here. He's going to have his Aghanim Scepter and just a little bit of gold sitting on that casual Orb of Magi, which, you know, did give him a little bit of mana. Still probably better to just get the Arcane Boots. So, Orb of Magi paying a little bit of dividends. It probably let him cast a few spells extra. Maybe, I'm not too sure if it contributed much, but a little cheeky item, I suppose you can go. Anyways, Void Chronosphere is going to be up in a little bit. Also going to get a Manta. And it looks like the Dire team has sort of given up at this point. So I suppose I can kind of talk about why things turned out the way they did. It looks like Puck had way too much farm in the off lane. I think that was the main problem. He had a lot of, on the off lane. He did really well in the mid lane. And Panda on the off lane, he got a little bit of EXP. Sure, he died, you know, a couple times here and there. He actually only died once. I think he died once in the off lane. And then he headed to mid and he got that weird kill on the Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter feeding some early kills, being too cheeky, wasn't particularly great. And Bloodseeker should have done a little bit better against the Puck. To be fair, Puck had an Illusion Rune, kind of roughed him up a bit. Priestess of the Moon also as a hard carry isn't exactly, not a hard carry, but just farming in the offlane isn't exactly the best hero. Having Silencer as a hard carry isn't too great either. Should have probably had Skeleton King farming top lane, ran dual supports. Something like that would have been much better. Anyways, just going to have a little bit of a tower dive here. Skeleton King is going to pop his ultimate. Looks like no one actually ends up dying other than the Puck. Comeback time. Oh no, no comeback time. Looks like the Radiant team is going to take the victory here over the Dire team, which is a little bit to be expected after kind of how the mid-game unfolded. So really well played by the Sentinel team. Dire team probably could have been a little bit better. Some dubious plays from the Bounty Hunter, to say the least. Skeleton King farming in the jungle, not exactly the greatest thing ever. Bloodseeker had a relatively poor showing against the Puck, to be honest. I like going for the Quelling Blade. I think it's a little bit riskier, but it makes sure that you last hit extremely well. Bloodseeker's animation and base damage are pretty okay. His base damage isn't, you know, amazing, but it's pretty good. Animation is phenomenal, so it lets him get some of the last hits he needs to kind of just sustain the lane against Puck. And overall, you know, just they kind of broke down. The Radiant team played their heroes perfectly, got the right items, and then they clumped up together very early on and pushed towers. As you can see, the level discrepancy isn't too much. It's because the Radiant team actually stayed together while the Dire team kind of spread out and farmed. But against a team like this, it's very difficult to stay spread apart. You should really just come together, drop Silencer ults, be really annoying with heroes like Bounty Hunter and Bloodseeker to shut down the enemy heroes. Overall, really well played by the Radiant team. So I'm not going to ramble on too much. I hope you guys enjoyed this cast, and until next time, GG, see you guys.